It's a redemption story. When you work in Hollywood, when you do comedy shows for Netflix, Comedy Central, Saturday Night Live, SNL, sorry not laughing, whatever you want to call it, we have a little problem. You see, if you don't bow to the radical left, they kick you off the platform. That's why they can say, there's really no good conservative comedians out there. Look at our platforms. They're not on here. They start to kind of curate their own talent. So we got a guy named Shane Gillis. You might recognize him. Take a look. Shane is a happy-go-lucky guy, very creative, funny, kind of a guy you'd want to have a beer with. And he was famously fired from Saturday Night Live after getting hired. So they did a big announcement. We're hiring Shane Gillis. People are like, who is this guy? And they worked double time to figure out who is this fat white guy and how did he get on a show, which we're trying to make more spots for minorities. It can't be that he's talented, good at acting, good at writing. No, no, no. He's racist. We have to find out. And sure enough, sadly, Shane gave them the smallest amount of rope to tie him up with. We read here, Shane Gillis is now going to host Saturday Night Live 5 years after he was fired from the show for offensive comments. How is that for a redemption story? So big applause to you, Shane, because you have to be very good at comedy to get fired from a show, unceremoniously work your way back up, and then the show's like, dang, you are good. Can you host? My question is, if he was too racist to be on the show, then why are you letting him host now? I think he should be hired and given 5 years of back pay for that. So, I'm going to read this to you. After SNL announced that he was no longer a part of the cast, in which he said he respected that decision, he then went on to say this. And this was his apology. It feels ridiculous for comedians to be making serious public statements, but here we are. I'm a comedian who's funny enough to get SNL. That can never be taken away. Of course, I wanted the opportunity to prove myself on SNL, but I understand it would be too much of a distraction. I respect the decision they made. I'm honestly grateful for the opportunity. I was always a Mad TV guy anyway. Well done, well done, well done putting them in their place in that apology. So this is all what went down 5 years ago. I gave you the backstory. And what did he say that was so bad? Well, comedians do podcasts. Podcasts is give you an open mic for an hour, one day, maybe 1 day a week. So in the last 10 years, he's probably had about 1,000 hours of podcasting. And in one of the podcasts, he said he doesn't like Chinatown. The food looks dirty. And I think he saw a dog in one of the windows. He didn't want to eat the dog, you know, or like, oh, this is delicious. What is it? Oh, it's dog. And he did the impression, oh, it's a dog. And they said he's a racist. I'm like, you're going to fire a man, take away his lifelong dream because he said, oh, it's a dog. You know, not the best joke in the world, but he admitted that. The other thing he did is he made a few jokes about LGB. So what did they do after they fired Shane? They replaced him with an LGB Asian guy to show that they're woke, they're sorry. Here's our 300 pounds of flesh sacrifice, Shane Gillis, and now we will put the gay guy there. Did we do good? So I'm going to ask you, do you think it's a great thing that Shane Gillis is back? Do you think he should host? And do you like my idea that he should get paid 5 years worth of back pay for taking this position since they waffled and he never did? Can't wait to hear it, because that's going to be one of the biggest stories in comedy when it happens. Other big news in comedy is Elon Musk is one of the funniest billionaires around. Elon is proposing a new idea. He wants to open up a school. He brought this up 3 years ago. He's doing it again. He wants to open the Texas Institute of Technology and Science for the merchandise alone. So he's tweeting this. He's back on it again. Millions of people are upvoting this, retweeting this. They want him to open TITS University, the only place where you actually want D's. I hope you like that joke. A's are okay, B's are better, C's are good, D's. And I don't know about F. That might go, F still might be a fail. I don't know about you guys. That'll be up to you guys. Everyone has their own interests. But this isn't the first time Elon has been hilarious. Elon has always been funny, even with the naming of his cars. Now, I'm surprised some people still don't know this, but when Tesla first came out, he wanted the Model S. Then he wanted the Model X and the Model Y. And in the middle, he wanted to put the Model E, but that's already owned by Ford from way back in the day. He tried to buy it. They wouldn't do it. So he just made it a 3. But we all know a 3 is a backwards E, right? So when you spell out the names of his cars, you have the S, the 3, the X, and the Y. Elon has been trolling us for a decade. Hats off to you, my favorite funny billionaire comedian. And on his way to be a billionaire is none other than Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan signs another deal people believe to be up to $250 million worth on Spotify, and things are heating up. He's now going to get to post some of these podcasts on YouTube, because for the longest time you could only get it on Spotify. Well, they're going to put it on more platforms, so you might be able to basically obtain his podcast a lot easier. And you're not going to need to do that, because we have our own podcast here. We have our own comedy here, and I think you're going to love it. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to not take my word for it. What good is it if I tell you how funny we are, how good we are? I want you to take the word of Candace Owens, the #1 female African-American conservative on podcasting, on TV, on college campuses. She got a hold of one of our comedy sketches about United Airlines, how they'll hire anybody now just to hit a quota. She was laughing so hard she shared it on her show. This warmed my heart. I've made it, Mom! Mom, Candace is showing us on her own show.
None of us should want to fly in the skies with pilots that have been installed there to fill a DEI initiative. United Airline CEO came out and said that they just had a magic number that they wanted to hit. They want to make sure there's more women. They want to make sure that there is more Black people, which means that their efforts to employ people, which, by the way, is fundamentally racist and sexist, judging people by how they look and things of that nature, is really going to harm us as the flyers. So, of course, me, Charlie Kirk have come out and said, that makes us nervous to fly. We're going to wonder now when we see a Black person or a woman whether or not they are qualified, or whether it's just the United CEO trying to hit his quota. I personally want to live in a world that's a meritocracy. Please, I don't care what color they are. Just make sure they can fly this plane. That's it. Which is why it brings me pleasure to present you guys with this hilarious clip. This comedian's name is Kayvon, and he took a stab at the hiring process of United Airlines. Take a listen.
So, what makes you qualified to be the next United Airlines pilot?
Porque soy latina, mujer, inmigrante, sé cocinar.
I've always had an interest in flying. Just a little concerned I'm
Narcolepsy. What makes you qualified?
I just love flying. I have over 10,000 hours of flight time, and I did 3 tours in Afghanistan.
Any history of mental illness in your family?
My uncle has Down syndrome.
Perfect. Can you get in here for an interview?
Huh?
And I'm a woman, so I'd love to be a woman pilot.
Did you march for BLM?
No, but I put the black square on my page.
A lot of people did that. Love it. Of course. Hired.
May I?
Hired. Fantastic. You're hired. Hey, you're hired. So what makes you qualified?
Well, I'm black.
Black? Hired.
That's it?
I'm sorry. You're hired.
I'm paralyzed.
Not paralyzed from having a job. You're hired. All right, thanks.
I mean, that's it. You're Black hired. Amazing. That's what's going on, you guys. Fly with caution. By the way, guys, if you'd like to follow that comedian, again, he goes by Kayvon, but his real name is Kevin Moezi. We will include everything, all of the links in the bottom. You can follow him on Instagram. You can follow him on YouTube. Be sure to check.
Oh, I feel like it's Valentine's Day and Candace is like a pretty big crush, right? Don't worry, folks. Candace is already married, so it's very innocent, but very happy to see that. And I love that she said that. Now, she did say his real name is Kevin Moezi. My real name is not Kevin Moezi. My real name, and I've never lied to you, Kayvon Moezi. So keep it easy. Now we're going to ask you, the audience, we need your help. We need to know, what kind of sketches do you want us to make next, all right? You can be on the writing side, because we're going to read these comments. Should we make fun of a political interview? Should we make fun of a dating app? Should we make fun of something going on in the society? Let us know. We're going to kind of go through your suggestions, and we're going to make a funny clip, because we got Valentine's Day, Super Bowl, we got 4th of July, we got St. Patrick's. There's a lot of things coming up. And of course, there's work-related issues and pop stars. Put in the comments. Can't wait to see it. The reason I say that is because Super Bowl's coming up, and we made a very chaotic little Super Bowl commercial. I want to see if you like it. This is the last thing we're going to show you here on The Right Show, but we always like to end with a little laugh. So this is what it would look like if a salsa was so good, you tried to propose by putting the ring in it, and what happens if somebody ate it?
I'm gonna propose to Christine.
Again? You proposed last year at the hockey game. She said no. I was on the Jumbotron.
Put the ring in the salsa.
How great is that, right?
Brady, you're really gonna make me bring in the groceries yet again by myself. Get it, girl!
Here's the salsa.
Oh.
Ray?
Definitely gonna need more salsa.
Hellman's Mango Salsa. You can't help but inhale it.
Just get more salsa.
What an idiot. I mean, God, who puts the ring in the salsa? All right. Please let me know how you proposed to your special loved one. Did you do something creative? Did you put in the champagne and she didn't notice and she drank it? That is what we want to hear from you. Hey, we hope you enjoyed that short clip. Now, click subscribe and click on the bell so you get all the notifications.